মুম্বাইয়ের উইমেন স্টাডিজের অ্যাসোসিয়েট প্রফেসর। আমি জানি না তোমাদের আমি পড়িয়েছি কিনা, আমি কিন্তু ইউজি মেয়েদের পড়িয়েছি, তারা আসেনি আজকে। যে প্রথম উইমেন স্টাডি সেন্টার কিন্তু এসএনডিটি উইমেন্স ইউনিভার্সিটিতে স্থাপিত হয় এবং দ্যাট ওয়াজ ইন 1974। এবং টুয়ার্ডস ইকুয়ালিটি রিপোর্ট প্রকাশিত হওয়ার আগেই কিন্তু এই রিসার্চ সেন্টার ফর উইমেন স্টাডিজ স্থাপিত হয় এবং এটি হচ্ছে ভারতের প্রথম মহিলা বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়। আর পূর্ব ভারতে আমাদের ইউনিভার্সিটিটা ফার্স্ট উইমেন্স ইউনিভার্সিটি, কিন্তু সারা ভারতে দিস ইজ দ্য ফার্স্ট উইমেন্স ইউনিভার্সিটি। এবং এই ইউনিভার্সিটির রিসার্চ সেন্টার ফর উইমেন স্টাডিজ এইটা হচ্ছে মানে একদম দ্য ফার্স্ট উইমেন স্টাডিজ সেন্টার ইন ইন্ডিয়া। এবং সেই সেন্টারের সঙ্গে যুক্ত অধ্যাপিকা পুতুল সাথে, তিনি এমনি বাংলাতেই বলবেন, ইনফ্যাক্ট বাংলা ইংরেজি মিশিয়ে বলবেন। ওনার আজকের বিষয় হচ্ছে রিডিং দলিত উইমেন্স লাইফ ন্যারেটিভস ইন দ্য অ্যান্টি কাস্ট আর্কাইভস। দলিত নারীবাদ, আমি দলিত নারীবাদ তোমাদের মানে যারা সেমিস্টার 4 তাদের পড়িয়েছি, বুঝিয়েছি, শর্মিলা রেগের অবদান পড়িয়েছি এবং দলিত মেয়েদের আত্মজীবনী কতটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ, হ্যাঁ, তো সেটাও তোমাদের কিছুটা বোঝানোর চেষ্টা করেছি। আজকে এই জাতিভেদ প্রথা বিরোধী যে লেখাগার, সেই লেখাগারে হ্যাঁ আর্কাইভ মানে ওই যেটা লেখাগার বলি, কিন্তু সেটা দিস ইজ নট দ্য অফিসিয়াল আর্কাইভ দ্যাট ইউ আর টকিং অ্যাবাউট। মানে এই নয় যে ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল স্টেট আর্কাইভের কথা বলছি, যে কোনো একটা পরিসর যেখানে আমরা দলিল দস্তাবেজ সংগ্রহ করে রাখি, বিভিন্ন ধরনের দলিল দস্তাবেজ হতে পারে, তো সেই একটা সংগ্রহশালা। তো সেই আর্কাইভ অ্যান্ড জাতিভেদ প্রথার বিরোধী যারা উচ্চারণ করেছে তাদের যে বক্তব্য, তাদের বয়ান নিয়ে একটা সংগ্রহশালা মানে সেটা পুতুলদিরা নির্মাণ করেছেন। মানে ইট ওয়াজ অলরেডি দেয়ার এবং আরও অনেক সেটাকে সম্প্রসারিত করেছেন, সেটাকে আরও এক্সপ্যান্ড করেছেন। তো সেই সংগ্রহশালার একটা অন্যতম মানে কম্পোনেন্ট হচ্ছে দলিত নারীদের আত্মকথন, যাকে শর্মিলা রেগে বলছেন টেস্টিমোনিও, কারণ দলিত মেয়েরা তাদের নিজেদের জীবনের যন্ত্রণার, শোষণের, নিষ্পেষণের সাক্ষ্য প্রমাণ রেখে গেছে তাদের এই আত্মকথনমূলক যে বয়ানে। তো আজকে সেই বিষয়ে পুতুলদি কথা বলবেন এবং তার এরিয়াস অফ রিসার্চ হচ্ছে থার্ড ওয়ার্ল্ড লিটারেচার, দলিত কালচারাল ন্যারেটিভস, ক্রিটিক্যাল কাস্ট স্টাডিজ। এবং উনি এই যে আর্কাইভ মানে ইনফ্যাক্ট এই যে রিসার্চ সেন্টার ফর উইমেন স্টাডিজ, সেখানে একটা আর্কাইভ আছে, সেটা হচ্ছে ডক্টর আভাবাই ওয়াদিয়া অ্যান্ড ডক্টর বোমানজি খুরশেদজি ওয়াদিয়া আর্কাইভ। সেই আর্কাইভের উনি কোঅর্ডিনেটর, and she's currently working on the research project on understanding the causes of depression among urban working women, a case study of SNDT Women's University, মুম্বাই। এবং এটার ফান্ড করেছে ন্যাশনাল কমিশন ফর উইমেন। অত্যন্ত সংক্ষিপ্ত একটা পরিচিতি করে দিয়েছে, মানে আরও অনেক কিছুই ওনার সম্বন্ধে মানে বলা যায়, মানে বলতেও পারতাম কিন্তু সময়ের অভাব, তাই আমি পুতুলদির হাতে মাইকটা তুলে দিচ্ছি। উনি একটা এও করেছেন, পিপিটি করেছেন, সেটা তাহলে দাঁড়িয়ে দাঁড়িয়ে এখানে করতে পারবেন। ঠিক আছে, থ্যাংক ইউ। Thank you very much. Thank you. Acha, at the very outset, আমার mic টা না। In fact, I'm very happy. আমার খুব মানে আমরা বাংলায় বলা obviously, ঠিক আছে, মানে it is for the first time because I'll be officially speaking in Bangla. So please do bear with me. আমি বুঝতে পারছি যে ফার্স্ট ইয়ার স্টুডেন্টসরা ব্যাক বেঞ্চে আছে, ফার্স্ট ইয়ার স্টুডেন্টসরা অলরেডি 2টো বাজে, ইটস কোয়াইট লেট ইন দ্য ডে, ঠিক আছে। মাই রিকোয়েস্ট ইজ যে ইফ ইউ ডোন্ট, আমি তোমাদের কিছু না, ইফ ইউ ডোন্ট আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড এনিথিং, কিছু না বুঝতে পারো, প্লিজ ডু রেজ ইউর হ্যান্ডস। কেন আই ডু আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড দ্যাট ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ ইজ আ বিগ ব্যারিয়ার Amar Mona, let me start with the first point is I thank all the students and the faculty who have made it a point to be here. I'm very happy to share some of my observations regarding Dalit women life narratives as far as Maharashtra is concerned. Maharashtra আমি বলছি আমি একবারও বলছি না যে Dalit women they're writing all over the India. I'm confining our talk will be confined to Maharashtra, and I hope that at the end of the talk I will be here to I'll be happy to hear your voices. I think with this brief I start. Okay. Now normally I think after Mandal 1990, this will be a brief introduction. 1990 জবে থেকে Mandal Commission আসছে, and Mandal 2 যখন OBC reservation হচ্ছে, because of which reservation is now almost 49%. আর আশা করি তোমরা সবাই জানো যে বিজেপি গভর্নমেন্ট 2026 এ সেন্সাস যেটা হবে, it will be a caste based census. It will be a very important caste based census. Okay, I think because of all this, caste has become a very important part of our যাকে বলে তোমার academic life. You know, caste ছিল বাইরে, আপনার যে caste ছিল না, the minute you are a Hindu, okay, or basically তুমি যদি the fact that you are an Indian, তোমার caste আছে, you cannot say that I am casteless. ওকে, ইউ জাস্ট কেউ বলতে পারবে না যে আমি কাস্টলেস, আমি কাস্টে বিশ্বাস করি না। অফকোর্স তোমার একটা কাস্ট আছে এবং বেসড অন ইয়োর কাস্ট লোকেশন ইউ আর এনজয়িং সার্টেন প্রিভিলেজেস, তুমি সার্টেন প্রিভিলেজেস এনজয় করছো। অ্যান্ড আই থিঙ্ক যেগুলো আমাদের ক্লাসে শেখানো হয়নি, আই থিঙ্ক ইউ আর লাকি দ্যাট উই আর টকিং অ্যাবাউট অল দিস থিংস উইদিন দ্য যাকে বলে একাডেমিক স্পেস। ওকে, so second thing is that basically Dalit women, so therefore caste becomes very important after 1990s জবে থেকে post Mandal commission. The reason why আমি এটা বলছি, during our times Dalit and caste narratives was not a part of the syllabus. Now the point is that when Dalit women narratives যখন syllabus-এর part হচ্ছে, how do you engage with these voices? তুমি এই টেক্সটগুলোকে কিভাবে পড়বে? তুমি এই টেক্সটগুলোকে will you read the text only to answer the question paper? I think a huge question for teachers is how do we engage with this text in the classroom? আমি তার আগে আরেকটা কথা বলতে চাই যে তোমরা সবাই you are a part of a university, right? You are a first year studentsরা, MA studentsরা, you are part of a university. I hope you understand that the university space, আমি একটু বেশি বলছি অপর্ণা, এই যে ইউনিভার্সিটি স্পেস, এই যে তোমাদের ক্লাসরুমটা, এই স্পেস ইজ ডিফারেন্ট ফ্রম দ্য স্ট্রিট। রাস্তার স্পেস আর এই স্পেসটা আলাদা। এই স্পেসটা আমি এটা খুব ওপেনলি তোমাদেরকে জিজ্ঞেস করতে চাইছি, সবাই এই স্পেসেতে ঢুকতে পারে না, রাইট? Not everybody have been as a part. Like তোমরা maybe many of you will be first generation learners. So please remember that this space is therefore based on exclusion. Am I right? I hope the word is clear. এখানে আমরা যে সবাই আসতে পারে, your mark sheet is there, তোমার এই আছে, তোমার সেই আছে. So this space is not based on inclusion. This space is based on যাকে বলে politics of exclusion. হ্যাঁ, বুঝতে পারছো তো আমি কি বলছি? আর সেই স্পেসে যে you are being taught about Dalit women's life narratives, which is a narrative, যেটা একটা text, যেটা which is telling you the hardships based on what it means to be excluded from mainstream society. Am I clear? It's very important to understand যে তোমরা Dalit life narratives গুলো কলকাতা বুক ফেয়ার থেকে কিনে পড়ছো না। You are reading the text because they are a part of your syllabus. যদি তোমাদের সিলেবাসের পার্ট না হতো, how many of you would have known about Dalit life narratives? Please think about this. That is, আমি প্রত্যেকবার I keep on asking myself that how did I come in contact? That's a different story. Okay. So as I said that is one point. The next point is why do we use the term life narratives? আর এই টার্মটা ইউজ করেছে শর্মিলা রেগে। কেন শর্মিলা রেগে বলছে অটোবায়োগ্রাফি একটা যে টার্মটা হয় সেটা আমাদের থেকে একটা ওয়েস্টার্ন একটা ইউরোসেন্ট্রিক থেকে আসছে। There's a different trajectory to it which I don't want to go into just now, but when it comes to marginalized, especially women writing about their own lives, it is not a autobiography, it is a life narrative. I think, I mean, of course, I don't want to get into it, but there's definitely a huge difference between the term autobiography and life narrative. You know, if you want, we can talk about it later on. The next term which I want to talk about, which is there in my title, is anti-caste archive. আমি আশা করছি সবাই জানে যে আর্কাইভ মানে হচ্ছে ফ্রম হিস্ট্রি। আমি ভেবেছিলাম আই উইল বি টকিং টু হিস্ট্রি স্টুডেন্ট, সো দ্যাটফর আই থট আর্কাইভ ইজ ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট, রাইট? আর্কাইভ সবাই রেফার করে, হিস্ট্রি স্টুডেন্ট আই ক্যান সি হেডস নডিং। Now the archive which you are referring to is the state archive, right? So the state has created that particular archive where some voices have been included, some voices have been kept up. আমি বুঝতে পারছি যে লাস্ট বেঞ্চে বোধহয় আই এম নট মেকিং সেন্স, বাট দ্যাট উইল বি দ্য ড্রব্যাক, রাইট? লাস্ট বেঞ্চ কিছু বুঝতে পারছো? মাথা নাড়ছো, ভালো ভালো, ঠিক আছে। Okay, so this archive is an anti-caste archive. Please remember, I am qualifying the archive and I am saying it's an anti-caste archive. So when I say it's an anti-caste archive, I am also going into the whole politics of how archives are set up. Archives kara hoy, who are the custodians, kara archive pe rakhe, who are the gatekeepers. So when I am saying anti-caste archive, there is also a whole politics related to that. Okay. नीचे ना पास साइड can you just help me out? escape করে নিচে যাও, নরমালি ওটা সাইড এসে তুমি স্ক্রিন না করে স্ক্রিন করে দিস আসছে না দাদা আমার নামে পাচ্ছিল তখন এই অঞ্জলি দেখো না টেকনোলজি। I think we go through this. This is the best document. This is the best document. So, এবার আমি যেটা বলছি, this may be slightly repetitive. Because আমি স্টুডেন্টদের পয়েন্ট অফ ভিউ থেকে করেছি, so for teachers, okay. Now, according to me, and this is of course what আমি যেটা বলছি, that I define anti-caste archive as a space যেটা fixed নয়, which is shifting. You know, so what do you mean? Does that mean that anti-caste archive is only the lower caste? Do we define it? No. So it is something which is shifting, something which is also evolving. Like, does it mean that anti-caste archive mane khali Ambedkar, certain voices, Meena Kandaswamy, Urmila Pawar? Is it that? Can we not talk about the ordinary Dalit vendor who is selling on the streets? You know, can't we not talk about the ordinary Dalit woman who is perhaps not a part of any kind of movement? যে বোধহয় তোমাদের বাড়িতে আমাদের বাড়িতে যে কাজ করতে আসছে, মেবি he or she is also a Dalit. So basically, according to me, this is an archive, this is a space which is shifting, which is basically, I mean, jake bole, which basically evolves, which is also, I mean, this also keeps on, I mean, jake bole tomar expand korche, which is very important. So, and therefore, according to me, this goes beyond a binary understanding of upper caste vis-a-vis lower caste. I think the minute we think of caste, we always think in terms of a binary, right? So this is going beyond that. And also it is, of course, here I'm trying to basically freeze it and say it is a record of voices who are on the social and cultural margins. So, you know, you are not only, I'm not talking about say, economic, I'm talking about social and cultural margins. How do you define? And please keep in mind, margin is also never fixed. The center and the margin are always in a process, they're in a kind of a dynamic which keeps on shifting depending on the historical condition. Okay, the next is, one of the major perhaps component of this kind of archive would be Ambedkar's works. Now it's very important to share over here je Anupama Rao je point make korche je when it comes to Ambedkarite archive, please keep in mind state has not played any role. You have to keep in mind, no state government, tomader of course Trinamool ekta koreche center of resistance and something, but apart from that, neither the central government nor the state government, besides building statues of Ambedkar, kono state government financially have never invested in setting up an Ambedkarite archive. Ambedkar archive jeguno ache Maharashtra, they are all personal collections. Please keep this in mind. You বুঝতে পারছো? Whereas for Nehru, Gandhi ji, আমি comparison করতে চাই না, but just to
just to bring into account the focus, if you want to work on Gandhiji, if you want or anybody, you have the state archive. In fact, it's overflowing. Whereas as far as this Ambedkar is concerned, these archives are still very personal collection, and I think it is also very sadly speaking, it is again done by people who belong to the Dalit community. Now that also something which we need to ask. Are people like me coming from the upper caste, am I just going to consume this archive? Are we just merely there to consume this archive and to churn out papers? Okay, so this basically includes performance, this basically includes literary text, something which we are going to talk about. The third point which I thought I should share with everybody, this was a point which was made by V. Geeta, since we have a small little archive in the center. She speaks about the archive of Dalit artisanal labors. Artisans, you know, there are craftsmen. Today when we are talking about our craftsmen, they are all, as Susie Tharoor said, none of them are from the upper caste. All your craftsmen, যাকে আমরা craft বলছি, যে শাড়িটা পরছি, এগুলো পরছি, these are all craft. For example, my this dress, this block print which has been done, if I go into the history of this has not been created by a upper caste man or woman. It is a lower caste man or woman. So therefore, you know, she says that when you are talking about an anti-caste archive, you should have an archive which will of course be the archive of artisanal labor. And I think it's a very powerful concept. You know, the whole concept of labor, caste. Okay, then of course it will also, then in that case, if it is performing, and I don't know in Bengal but in Maharashtra, a huge performance of lower caste is also by the sex workers. You know, like they're the sex workers. So when you're talking about performance, it also expands the concept of the archive. Of course, there will be a blurring of caste and caste. When when you're talking about caste in India, you cannot talk about caste. It always works in an intersectional framework. So it will be class and caste, and of course, it will be the most important. And this is what I think, that it will be a record of role of lower caste men and women at defining moments in the history of the nation. So, for example, today when you're talking about partition archive, where are the transgenders? Where are the lower caste? Of course, in Bengal you have Doripan, who has worked on a little bit. But if you see, as far as West Pakistan, this text is concerned, there is no transgender. There is practically no caste. Gender figures in a prominent manner, and let's not forget that when we say gender, unfortunately, for us, gender is equal to women, and we completely erase the entire spectrum. I think as teachers, we should be very conscious of that. The next thing is that as far as Ambedkar, this archive is concerned, and this is the third point is a concept which I have borrowed from Women's Archive, where you know you are creating archival traces. You have a trace create, you know. I mean, I'm not using the Derridian word. I don't want to bring in that, but you are creating traces. So you are creating archival traces to counter silence surrounding the invisibility about margins, right? And the word invisible is very important, and I think as students and researchers, we should be important that we don't romanticize your invisibility. Invisibility যেটা হচ্ছে, এখানে একটা power dynamics আছে. I mean, that is where I bring in Foucault perhaps, that you know, nobody is completely invisible. There is somewhere you are hurt, somewhere you are not hurt. So it also is to counter, to challenge the silence surrounding the invisibility about margins and grand narratives, marking the beginning of search for new stories to contest the official thing. I think that is quite clear. Nothing this thing about it. Okay, yeah. The next is, I'm continuing. So it is over here that the anti-caste archive will be in conversation with other archives. So the labor archive, the working class archive, you know, the other kind of archive. So it can't be only, I mean, in isolation, something which as far as the state archives are concerned. I think this is a very important challenge, that when you're working with one particular archive, how do you realize that this archive is in conversation with other archives which may be dormant, which may be not so active. You know, it's a huge challenge. And I think this is again a point which V. Geeta has said, that what is the purpose of a women's archive? And I say, what is the purpose of an anti-caste archive? It will be to move towards a just society, যেখানে equal আছে, যেখানে gender justice থাকে, where everybody is equal, because you create an archive to basically bring to challenge voices which have been muted in mainstream history. So this mutation becomes a very important word. Now over here you have Anupama Rao, where you know she's somewhere tucked away in her pages. She says that even when we look at the anti-caste archive, there's a silence about women. there is a silence. Let us accept it, okay? And here I thought perhaps in some way Urmila Powers and Moon, you know, this very famous book which Vandana Sonarkar, tumra ki jano ei boita, it is about role of women in the Ambedkarite movement, which is known as We Are Making History. I think this is it. Boita jano, I don't think it. Boita is a must, you know. Why is it that? And after that, nobody has written any book, mind you. I mean, you know, so after Vandana Sonarkar, and of course she's basically translating this book which had been written by Meenakshi Moon and Urmila Pawar. They actually went round to women, okay, and you actually have very nice narratives. Actually, ekhane ekta khub interesting part ache, the Marathi boita jeta ache, because we have seen that there's a huge difference between the book written in Marathi and the one which has been translated and published by Zuban in English. In fact, the Zuban book ta onek saje buje lekha hoche. Vandana Sonarkar, she gives you that introduction, she tells you, but the original Marathi book is just a little thin book, okay, which is just I mean, the conversations. Now here in this context, and this is something where I need to learn from you, that when you look at the history of Bengal partition, it's always mostly confined to Namachudra women, whereas the other Dalit communities, and also over there, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, there the caste factor is ruled out and it becomes the refugee women. You know, the class factor becomes more important. And we look at Ranveer Samadar and all the entire work which is happening there. I mean, please do check me. But my reading is that the caste factor, you know, that when you're talking about intersectionality, let's not forget there also you privilege one category over the other. I don't think you can ever have any knowledge which is completely democratic. You know, so over there, perhaps the Namachudra woman is subsumed under the refugee category. So therefore, here I say that as part of this archive, you have life narratives by women, which is of course, and these are part of a larger literature by Dalit communities. When you see one point, Dalit life narratives by women, when we talk about life narratives by women, please remember that Eiguno is part of what is known as a huge body of literature known as Dalit literature. I hope you realize that, and there's definitely a difference between literature written by men and literature written by women. So you know, so there is a difference. I think when we talk about life narratives, we just only can't confine ourselves only to women. We need to see that even within the broad category of what is known as Dalit life narratives, how have women responded to, say, discrimination, humiliation, and how have men responded? And therefore, I think, like as far as Maharashtra is concerned, I think in the last 20 years, some of the Dalit life narratives are ascending. To be very, very frank. In fact, now in Maharashtra, when you're talking about literary and cultural articulation, it is Bhimji, Sambhaji Bhagat, you know, where caste and class are coming together, where working caste class are coming together. And I don't know how many, I mean, maybe some of the faculty must have heard about this very famous man, a very famous historian, this Sharad Patil, you know, where he has brought caste class together. So it's again a very interesting question. At a point when Kalyani Thakur is rising, okay, Maharashtra we have no more women writing Dalit life narratives. Okay, but very, very interesting, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, you have many Dalit directors producing and directing movies. Something very interesting. So is it that the cultural texts are being produced, but the form is now different? I mean, you know, why should it be only literary text? So you have cinema, you have a performance, you know, okay? So that is something there. I also thought that, you know, this is just from my, that when you're talking about Dalit life narratives in the context of Bengal, can Kalyani Thakur, I don't know why no other, of course Lily Haldar is there and all are there, but can this text be termed as testimonials? See, Rege je term ka testimonial use korche, she is using it in the context of Maharashtra. You know, those 8 texts which she has translated, she is using it in the context of Maharashtra. Acha, in fact, in Maharashtra, I forget this critic who had challenged Rege, saying that Tumi je term ta borrow korecho, this has come from Latin America, and in Latin America, testimonials were written against the nation, against an oppressive state, Here, that is not the case. So, are you justified in using the term testimonial? But Rege says that I use the term testimonial because the very act of writing is act of basically, I mean, this testifying. You know, you are testifying. You are here to give evidence. So I think we need to think about those points also. Okay, so now the next thing that I want to do is that this is mainly for students. I'm just giving a brief review of literature of some of the important critical positions. So, Jara boleche, how do we read this Dalit life narratives? And here, what I tend to do is that I'm moving away from a very narrow literary reading of margin, resistance, and moving towards a much more broad reading of how do we understand or how do we engage with Dalit life narrative. So here you have Gyanendra Pandey, who naam kora historian. He is of course a very well-known historian who is saying that the life narratives of Dalit women articulate marginalization within an intersectional framework, right, to include caste, gender, and this identity. The next point is very important. He says beyond a singular demographic or sociological framework. I mean, Buste Pachi, this is quite difficult. I mean, I thought it was a small group of people, very practical. Okay, so I thought, okay, so I think this is very important, which is transcending any singular demographic or sociological framework. Because if you know, Urmila Pawar in her memoir makes a very important statement that Dalit is for all women and all for secular loving people, and that is making at the time when Shiv Sena BJP's at its peak in Maharashtra. You know, that is where, okay, so yeah, I think so I think this is very important that it is saying it is beyond a singular. The second, it says historically the texts are located within the paradigm of narratives by lower caste women, and within this literary space the narratives have produced alternative modes of conducting politics. And this politics is Dalit women activism. That is where Dalit feminism comes into play. And he said then the third point he says is drawing the inspiration from the anti-caste movement, the articulation represents the gender subaltern. Now here I have slight problem because subaltern is very different from a Dalit, and of course there's a more, because since he is a subaltern historian, he is coming together of a gender subaltern history and calls for an engagement with voices of politicized Dalit women activists. You also have to keep in mind that most of, at least the two autobiographies whom I have in mind is Urmila Pawar and Baby Kamble. Both are very well-known women activists. And Urmila Pawar is very interesting. I mean, I wish I can share some personal, these anecdotes. She used to come to Research Center for Women's Studies very often. Oh, Research Center, she used to come, before she became very famous, center asto, gorpo korto, and she used to wear very bright color sarees or birat boro Mangal Sutra korto. Birat, and in Maharashtra, Mangal Sutra is the Brahmins. This is not there in Bengal. Bengal is here with caste demarcation, cultural mark. Sobai Sidur Poche, Sobai Sanka, Sobai. But in Maharashtra, Mangal Sutra, jara Brahmin, they'll put a chaura ke rachan. But Ami ke jigas ko chulu, je Urmila kai, क्यों आप पहनते हो? नहीं मेरे को बोला पाहिजे. This is ours. Hey, आमचा आहे. We also should need it. Now, I thought that was a very interesting moment which still plays in my mind. आमचा মানে আমাদের হয়. কোনি सांगितले কে বলেছে যেটা শুধু খালি ব্রাহ্মণদের, হে আমচা पण आहे. আচ্ছা সেটা হয়ে গেল. তারপরে after that this was again after I think last 5 years back we have the আমাদের নীরা দেশাই মেমোরিয়াল লেকচার হয়. Okay, and this I'm just saying is very important. আমি যে উর্মিলা তাই প্লিজ আসুন আমাদের লেকচার দিন, আমাদের করুন. আমাকে বললো দেখো কত দেবে তুমি আমাকে. সো আই সেড আমাদের ইউনিভার্সিটির ফিক্স হচ্ছে 5000 rupees. অশোকা মালা 20000 দিতে. অশোকা মানে অশোকা ইউনিভার্সিটি আমি গেল অশোকা মালা 20000 দিতে. আমি ইচ্ছা করে মাটিতে বলছি. হ্যাঁ, তখন আমার তো প্রথমে খুব রাগ ধরেছে যে দেখো কি কিরকম. বাট দেন আই থট when a upper caste scholar does the same thing, we think it is his or her legitimate right. Why am I not? Why, since it is Urmila Pawar, why am I drawing this distinction? Or why is it that in TISS এতে আছে, Tata Institute of Social Sciences এতে, যেখানে Dalit students বলেছে আমরা যে কিছু ভালো করে জামাকাপড় পরি, people look at, আরে you are very well dressed today. দেখো গভর্নমেন্টের স্কলারশিপ থেকে ভালো জামাকাপড় পরছে. আমাদের কি ভালো জামাকাপড় পরার রাইট নেই? you know, and then the very famous statement that we are not your data. Tomorrow research korbe amra tomader data no, we are living human beings. So I think, you know, the small things makes a lot of difference. I think, you know, and believe me, amar oi that I go back to that conversation every now and then just to check myself that আমরা কিভাবে ভাবি। খুবই ঠিক, তুমি কোনো বড় লোক, তুমি রমিলা থাপারকে ডাকো, রমিলা থাপার মধ্যে she will ask you first class air ticket, she will ask you what not what, and you think that is a legitimate claim. Why not Urmila Pawar? I mean, this has always stayed with me. And of course, now, Urmila Pawar, she's quite old. Now she doesn't come anymore. But yeah. Okay, so after that, the next point, the next critic whom I thought is very important, that when you read Dalit Women Life Autographies, is S. Anand. Now, S. Anand, আশা করি তুমি জানো, নওয়ায়ানা যে পাবলিশিং হাউসটা আছে, যেটা শুধু খালি দলিত টেক্সট পাবলিশ করে, he is the owner of that. S. Anand is making this very important observation, and he's saying that, আমি জানি এটা কি করে বাংলায় ট্রান্সলেট করতে পারে, of course this is where language politics and where तुम्हारे NEP saying mother tongue ये सब कुछ से, तो I really don't know why, and I mean, okay, so he's saying that the epistemology, that production of knowledge, it tells you about the disadvantages of unmarked feminism. কারণ আমাদের Indian feminist movement যেটা হয়, সেটা it is just women as a সবাই মানে আমরা সবাই নারী না, আমরা সবাই নারী নই। There's a difference between তোমাদের মধ্যে আর আমার মধ্যে, maybe biologically we are the same, but apart from that তোমার নারী আর আমার নারীর মধ্যে মানে there's a difference, যাকে বলে তোমার জমিন আসমান কা ফারাক হ্যাঁ, কি আমি ঢুকেই যে সুইপারটা আছে, she is also sweeping here in a AC room. We are talking about Dalit feminism. Go and talk to her. You don't need anything else, but we are not taught that. Okay, anyway, so therefore he says that it tells you the disadvantages of unmarked Indian feminism. Kind of Indian feminist movement till 1990s refused to accept caste. Religion power shabanor jonne ase, but caste comes much later. In fact, tomar jodi, I hope some of you have been for the Indian Association for Women Studies conference. It's very interesting that it's only 1995 এতে যে caste আসছে, তার আগে caste আসেনি। You know, okay, so the life narratives of contemporary Dalit women therefore highlight the entangled relationship between mainstream Indian women's movement and the complex. Please keep in mind, the anti-caste movement is not simple. It is a complex chronicle of the anti-caste movement. I don't know, but I feel really very bad that most of them I don't think is making sense also, but I think that is how our classrooms operate, unfortunately. Acha. It's a fact. I mean, আমাদের ক্লাসরুম খুব ছোট হয়, because we just get 7 or 8 students. So we had a Muslim girl, যেটা যে প্রথম জেনারেশন উর্দু মিউনিসিপাল, তোমার উর্দু মিডিয়াম থেকে মিউনিসিপাল স্কুল থেকে এসেছিল। 4th সেমিস্টারে গিয়ে সে ফেল, পর পারলো না। তখন যাবার আগে আমার খালি এইটা বলে গেল, and it rings in my ears, मैडम ये सब पढ़ के मेरे को क्या मिलेगा, मेरे को कल शादी करके मेरे को 2 बच्चे करने होंगे। करके मेरे को बोला, मैडम आप लोगों के लिए तुम्हारे জন্য ঠিক আছে, you know, आपका घर है, तुम्हारे ठीक আছে, কিন্তু very poor family, you know, and it was so bad that every day morning she used to come to the department early morning, and I share করছি because she could use the department washroom. কারণ ও স্লামে থাকতো, যেখানে লোককে হাঁটতে হতো। একদিন আমার পিউনকে আমার একটু রেগে বলছে, ম্যাডাম ও সকালে এসে রোজ বাথরুম নোংরা করে। বাথরুম নোংরা করে তুমি আমরা, দেন ইউ কল হার। So I said, ठीक है, तुम्हें use करछो, but you know, but that is the condition, and this is happening in a women's studies department, you know. Okay, so that is it. Then you have Rao, you have Anupama Rao, who is making a very important statement by saying that Dalit life narratives, which of course which is located within the larger philosophy of Dalit feminism, redefines our understanding of caste, not as a structure of oppression and disenfranchisement, which is a very important point, but also as a mode of identity. In the previous one, it is mix of everything. Here she is saying more than oppression, more than anything, it is a mode of identity. And mind you, identity over here is not narrow identity politics. And let's not forget that all of women's feminist scholarship also is in a way identity based writing. it is of course because you are as a woman, you are claiming your identity as a woman, okay? So by recovering suppressed and overlooked histories, Dalit feminism offers a critical perspective on mainstream feminism voiced by its most marginalized and exploited constituencies. And therefore you have Anupama Rao saying that Dalit life narratives, I mean, খুব slowly যাচ্ছি, is a history of hurt and humiliation. এটা একটা হিস্ট্রি অফ হার্ট অ্যান্ড হিউমিলিয়েশন। ঘুমিয়ে পড়ো না এখানে থার্ড বেঞ্চ, ঘুমিয়ে পড়ো না, আই ক্যান বেটার না টকিং টু ইউ, অফকোর্স আই ক্যান সি অপন ইটস এসি হট, ঠিক আছে? সো আচ্ছা, অ্যান্ড হিয়ার আমি যারা একটু সিরিয়াস অ্যাবাউট দলিত লাইফ ন্যারেটিভস, প্লিজ কিপ ইন মাইন্ড দেয়ার ইজ আ ডিফারেন্স বিটুইন ডিসক্রিমিনেশন, exploitation and humiliation, and I think for this you have to refer to Gopal Guru's book titled Humiliation. You know, he's very clearly saying, you know, amader Maharashtra, amader university, we have many Dalit colleagues with us. Mind you, Maharashtra has a long history. Now, jeta amar khub ashchoryo hoyechilo when you look at the teachers' demography in presidency, Jadavpur, where do you find the Dalit teacher? যেখানে আমাদের সময় in 12th standard we had a English Dalit teacher, যার against আমরা যে প্রিন্সিপালকে কমপ্লেন করেছিল in Ferguson College, you know, very elitist college, she can't speak English. And you know, when I look back to those days, I really wondered what kind of spaces we were in. Okay, so anyway, but তোমাদের এখানে হচ্ছে this is a fact. You look at the demography of teachers of Kona. আমাদের ওখানে it's long time back. I mean, we already we have since our 11th standard we have had Dalit teacher, which is quite late in West Bengal. I'm right in what I'm saying, right? Okay, so basically, so therefore, you know, Gopal Guru makes this point, and he actually makes this point. He says, you all don't think I'm only talking about exploitation. I'm talking about humiliation. So we have our Dalit colleagues whom in a subtle manner they say, look, we were humiliated. Amader identity niye amaderke humiliate koreche kise. Mane for example, there was a huge hue and cry in our university. Amader ekta we had the statue of tomar jake bole Shivaji Maharaj, and the non-teaching world, mostly OBCs and SCs, wanted to install a statue of Ambedkar. The university said no. The VC was a DTNT, mane denotified tribal, but she was coming from BJP. I hope I'm making this clear. BJP থেকে ছিল, but she was from DTNT. She said no. Then there was a hue and cry, and finally, of course, the statue was, installed. Now, this is not a case of discrimination. This is not a case of exploitation. This is a case of humiliation, and that is how caste operates. So when Shekhar Bandyopadhyay is saying that caste apparatus was already there in Bengal, he's referring, I think, perhaps to this humiliation. You know, okay. So therefore, I think this is okay. So that is mainstream feminism. Okay, then I think the two texts which I'm talking about is Baby Kamble and Urmila Pawar, and my very favorite text, I mean, last 3 bachor there was a text for you pointing. See, it's very important that they are not the same. They are not the same. Baby Kamble, if you read that text, she's still running a shop. She was or rather notes লিখে রাখতো. You had a very well-known European anthropologist Bernstein who goes there, যে ওকে বলছে, and then she publishes it. Okay, Urmila Pawar, on the other hand, educated, doing a very good job, and it's very different. The trajectory is very different, and in fact, Maya Pandit has pointed it out very well in her introduction that Urmila Pawar, in many ways, represents the nation. The nation's affirmative action. Okay, Baby Kamble is still a vendor, ছোট দোকান করতো, but Urmila Pawar is from a working class, ভালো গভর্নমেন্টের চাকরি করেছে, MA পড়েছে. She has a very different kind of a trajectory. So you cannot put both the autobiographies through the same lens. তুমি একভাবে দুটোকে, you cannot just say margin now. In fact, there's a huge journey which perhaps Urmila from Baby Kamble to Urmila Pawar happens. And also the other fact is that both the texts arrived in the English-speaking world in 2008. Urmila Pawar and Baby Kamble, যেটা I think Street publish করছে না, একটা Street করছে, একটা তোমার Orient Blackstone করছে, but both of them arrived in the English-speaking, cosmopolitan world in 2008. And I think it's very important that it was not the case that there were not many writers, but who enters the publishing world, who is picked up, who becomes a part of the so-called Bhadralok public sphere, and who remains a part of the Dalit counter public sphere. That is very important. Okay, yeah. So then the next thing I thought is that when you're dealing with this text, what we need to understand that Dalit life narrative is not a homogeneous category. And I think for some of you, jara tumra research korbe, please keep in mind, homogeneity ta hoche sobtheke easy way out. You know, একটা theory pore na, but both of them are very, very different. Like for example, আমি যদি কল্যাণী ঠাকুরকে পড়তে চাই, I don't think Regi will anyway apply to that. Because Kalyani Thakur is talking about only অনেক দূরে গিয়ে only in her office she is talking about caste discrimination. You know, so when আমরা যখন ওনার সঙ্গে তোমার ইন্টারভিউ নিয়েছিলাম, যখন ওনাকে জিজ্ঞেস করেছিলাম, in your personal life have you faced any kind of discrimination? She said no, because she comes from a very well-off home. Okay, and now also if you see in Bengal there is no anti-caste movement the way it is there in Maharashtra. Like for example, now Maharashtra the Dalit women's movement is hugely associated with the sex workers movement. And most of the sex workers are from the Dalit community. In fact, there's a huge fight. There's a huge fight to the extent Smita Patil, the well-known scholar, Smita বলছে তুই তোমাদের এতই মনে হয় যে sex worker is work, let your own daughters go and do that work. তোমাদের মনে হয় like Nivedha Menon tenant যেটা বলে this is work, you know, we have, but then he says if you think it is work like any other work, তুই তোমাদের মেয়েদেরকে বলো get sex work কেন আমাদের মেয়েরাই কেন? And you have no answer, right? And this question I had asked to Kalpana Kannabiram, she said you just let it go. Okay, acha, now here you know, so acha, now next point, now as I said, you cannot read Bangla. I'm taking the example of Bangla because these are the two areas which I know a little bit. In Maharashtra, Dalit life women narratives are a part of what is known as the Phule Ambedkarite counter public. I know this is a difficult word, it's like you have the Habermaser public sphere chilo, then you have Nancy Fraser who is talking about counter public sphere. So it is a caste mark, Phule Ambedkarite counter publics, and their voices emerge as agents of critique and transformation. Continue করছি আর within 10-15 minutes আমরা শেষ করে দিই, China is quite boring. Okay, ঠিক আছে? Yeah, okay, critique, and most important, these are also voices of transformation. We need to realize that, because don't forget, feminist theory is also different from other, and that is where feminist theory challenges androcentric theories because of the transformative potential. Okay, so this is my reading, and it challenges both caste patriarchy, তোমার Uma Chakrabarty's Brahmanica patriarchy, caste patriarchy, and exclusions from mainstream feminist discourse. Therefore, the reading process, and this is a very important point which I want all of you all to note, when you're reading Dalit or when you're reading any, I mean, you know, especially life narratives, it is to read the caste apparatus on its own terms, rather than to read the caste as the other. Like, you know, you don't, like for example, you have when you go to work among the very marginalized, you will always be told, তুমি যখন ethnography করতে যাও, don't speak for them, speak with them, because the minute you তুমি ওদের হয়ে কেন বলবে, why will you take their voices away? And this is M.S.S. Pandian in this very important essay 2002, তুমি সব EPW তে পেয়ে যাবে. He saying speak about, read them, understand the caste apparatus which is operating on its own terms, and not to read caste by other means. Okay, we have come to this side. Okay, so therefore, what does it mean to say by reading caste on its own terms? And here I identify the process of reading, especially Dalit life narratives, as feminist ethnography. And feminist ethnography is very different from mainstream ethnography. I hope, okay, is to politically identify with the voices you empathize, but it's a very difficult process. তুমি যখন বলো identify করছি, আমি একটা upper caste woman, can I give up my caste privileges? আমি একটা certain cultural capitalist সঙ্গে আসছি, আমি একটা certain financial capitalist সঙ্গে আসছি, can I give this all up? Okay, identify with the voices of people research, and in this case the voices of politicized Dalit women activists, to understand how difference has been constituted and sustained across experiences, bodies, cultures, and struggles to question what Sharmila Rege has described as the uncritical classical anthropological gaze. You know, when you're reading what the gaze ache, you know, that ethnographic gaze is you freeze Dalit women in a certain manner, and the minute you politically start identifying with them, what happens is the whole reading process, you know, there is a whole shift of power. which is, and the division between subject and you as, I mean the object and the subject, that whole bifurcation breaks down. I think, you know, as literature students, can you look at the whole reading experience as an ethnographic experience? আমি এখানে শেয়ার করতে চাইছি লাস্ট বেঞ্চ ওকে আমাদের যে ইনফ্যাক্ট ইন MA লিটারেচার উই হ্যাড আ টিচার ওয়্যার দ্য হেড প্রফেসর মিত্রা পারেখ। মিত্রা যখন ভক্তির পোয়েটদেরকে শেখাতো, what she would do it, she would take the class actually to Jejuri, যেখানে মানে অফকোর্স ইউ নো দিস ওয়াজ দিলীপ চিত্রে। জেজুরি ইজ আ pilgrimage place। জেজুরি থেকে ও দেখাতো যে দেখো এইটা, দিস ইজ দ্য রিয়েলিটি। Now that you are reading the poem here rather than in the classroom, does it make a difference? Like for example, আমি একটা আমার খুব পার্সোনাল এক্সপেরিয়েন্স শেয়ার করছি। I think let me come down, Aparna, that will be better. Yeah, let me stand amongst them. আমি আমাদের SNDT-তে, দিস ইজ আ ফার্স্ট উইমেন্স ইউনিভার্সিটি। আচ্ছা, আমাদের SNDT-তে আমরা প্রচুর দলিত স্টুডেন্ট পাই, আমরা প্রচুর মুসলিম ফার্স্ট জেনারেশন লার্নার স্টুডেন্ট পাই। মানে দলিত স্টুডেন্ট এত গরিব যেতে সকালে সে বাসুমে যে ক্লাস করতে এসেছে, এবার তাদেরকে আমি কম্পালসারি ইংলিশ শেখাতো। ঠিক আছে, তাদেরকে আমি কম্পালসারি ইংলিশে কী শেখাতো, ইপসন বলে একটা খুব নাম করা নরওয়েজিয়ান প্লে রাইট আছে, ইপসনের ডলস হাউস। ঠিক আছে, এবার ইপসনের ডলস হাউসে নোরা বলে একটা ক্যারেক্টার আছে, আর নোরা খুব স্ট্রং ক্যারেক্টার। এবার লিভ দ্যাট, প্লেতে খালি একটা সিন ছিল যেখানে বলা আছে নোরা ইজ ড্রিঙ্কিং ওয়াইন। ঠিক আছে, নোরা, এবার আমি কাদেরকে শেখাচ্ছি, ভেরি ফার্স্ট জেনারেশন দলিত স্টুডেন্ট যাদের কাছে ড্রিঙ্কিং অ্যান্ড অ্যালকোহলিজম ইজ আ প্রবলেম, মানে যেখানে ড্রাঙ্কন ফাদার্স, ড্রাঙ্কন ব্রাদার্সরা পুরো ফ্যামিলিকে ডিস্ট্রয় করতে পারে। আমি সেখানে ওদেরকে ক্লাসে দাঁড়িয়ে বলছি 50-60টা স্টুডেন্ট দুপুর 2:30 বম্বেতে গরম তারা হাঁপিয়ে ঝাঁপিয়ে ক্লাসে এসেছে, যে তোমরা বুঝতে পারছো যে ওয়াইন মানে কি? তখন একটা বলছে হ্যাঁ ম্যাডাম দারু। ওকে, আমি আই কেপ্ট মার্ক, বিকজ আমি তো বলতে পারছি না যে দারু হচ্ছে ডিফারেন্ট অ্যান্ড ওয়াইন হচ্ছে আলাদা। নাও ডু ইউ রিয়েলাইজ অ্যাজ আ টিচার আমি তখন ক্লাসেতে কি আমার করা উচিত বলো? Caste, you see the syllabus has been designed by people who know nothing about the reality. তারা খুব আনন্দ করে ইপসনের ডলস হাউস দিয়েছে যে মেয়েরা পড়বে, মেয়েরা জানবে। বাট দিস সিন যেখানে নোরা ইজ ড্রিঙ্কিং ওয়াইন উইথ হার হাজব্যান্ড, ডু ইউ থিঙ্ক ইট ইজ অ্যাকসেপ্টেবল আমাদের সমাজে যে হাজব্যান্ড ওয়াইফ বসে একসঙ্গে মদ খাবে? না। You cannot impose your elite ideas on people and say that we জানো না। So it was at that point যেটা আমার মনে হলো যে কাস্ট জানা খুব দরকার। That is where you realize দেখো I'm sure তোমরা যখন রবীন্দ্রনাথ পড়ো, ঠিক আছে, any short story and when you are reading Dalit life narrative, there's a huge difference. রবীন্দ্রনাথ খুব সুন্দর ইংলিশে লিখছে, রবীন্দ্রনাথ কবিরাও করছে, তারা তাদের খাবার করতে আসছে, কোনো ভাবনা নেই, তাদের পরের দিনের টাকা পয়সার কোনো ভাবনাই নেই। But when you're reading Dalit life narrative, the first thing is আমি আজকে খাচ্ছি, আমি কালকে কি খাবো, আমার পার্টিসিপেন্ট আমি এসেছি, কালকে আমি কোথায় গিয়ে খাবো, তুমি বুঝছো? So I think as students, যখন এই টেক্সট কোনো ক্লাসরুমেতে আসছে, এগুলো খালি এই বইগুলো খালি পরীক্ষার জন্য নয়। These books will stay with you throughout your life, এবং তোমাদের সঙ্গে থাকবে। Are you getting my point? That is, I think, তুমি as a lecturer বলছো না আপনার সাথে কোনো ডিফারেন্স হয় না, বাট I hope that তোমরা সবাই at some point will at least read একটা দলিত text to understand that maybe তোমাদের experience সেটা হচ্ছে দলিত text থেকেও আসছে, just to understand that caste কেন important আমাদের। I think Aparna, it was important that I come down and speak rather than speaking from there, you know. So I think this was my personal journey of why I started with caste. And believe me, SNDT-te, we have huge Dalit students, first generation Dalit students, and for them compulsory English at the Ibsen's Doll's House, Aparna, I thought that was the example of perhaps what we term as epistemic violence in the classroom. You know, so I think so therefore these days when we speak about caste and all, we are very careful. We are very careful because somebody can tell that ki tumi bolcho. You are talking about us, now let me speak. Okay, yeah, so here it is. So therefore So she says that you need to overcome this particular gaze, this whole essentialized gaze, so that which overlooks the dynamics of power, resistance, and historical context of looking at lower caste women. I think Aparna, I'll just skip the other three because I can see everybody is bored. Okay. So in the articulation, so there you have. So the next point is the data most important, that caste is not a problem. Caste is, when you read Dalit background, not to understand, not to look at caste as a problem, but to understand how caste apparatus functions. And I think that is where, and it is most important, this important point is very important, যেটা Pandian আর অনেকরা বলেছে যে the Indian constitution যখন free হয়, how did democratic bourgeois secular India deal with the question of caste? তারা SC ST OBC বলে দিয়ে but they say that this is extremely problematic যেটা আমরা এখন আমরা দেখছি. So I think that is the next slide is that, so therefore this is as Gopal Guru says that you also read this text as counter hegemonic discourse, and he says that this text, more than by testifying to social wrongs, they basically celebrate Dalit triumphalism. I think a marginal we need to challenge over here, and therefore I come to the last one. I understand, okay. So therefore he says that, and this is again Gyan Pandey, I think আমি খুব sum up করে দিচ্ছি, that in a way Dalit lives also teach you to negotiate with the othering. আমরা সবসময় যে project আলাদা ওরা আলাদা আমরা, that is one thing, and also it in many ways teaches you that how the nation state has looked at its marginalized populations. I think it's not a difficult concept often anyway, and so therefore Dalit life narratives have interpreted the constitution of gender-based caste identities within the framework of a bourgeois, liberal, secular, democratic nation, and in the process have created a space where they can question the official amnesia about their struggles and resistance. I think I stop here. I know it's quite heavy. Okay, so I thank everybody for a very patient listening. I mean, as I said, আমি জানি না আমি কতদূর কি বলেছি, কতদূর কি গেছে, but I'm happy that I could speak to all of you, and I thank Aparna for giving me this chance to share my ideas with you. Thank you.
বলছি তোমাকে সহজে ছাড়ছি না, তুমি একটু সহজ করে এদের এই শর্মিলা রেখে দলিত ফেমিনিস্ট স্ট্যান্ড পয়েন্ট থিওরিটা একটু বুঝিয়ে দাও প্লিজ। আমি ওদের বুঝিয়েছি কিন্তু ওদের ঠিক বুঝাই, একটু সহজে ওদের বুঝিয়ে দাও।
একটা ব্রেক নিয়ে করবো?
হ্যাঁ,
একটা ব্রেক নেবো।
ঠিক আছে, একটু বসো।
যারা আমি বসছি, আমার কোনো কথা, আমাকে বাড়ি থেকে বসতে হবে।
হ্যাঁ, তুমি একটু বসো।
আমি বসছি, বাট আই উড লাইক টু লিসেন ফ্রম দেম, বিকজ আমার সবসময় মনে হয় যে আমরা এত থিওরিতে আমরা বুঝতে গেছি দ্যাট উই রিয়েলি আমরা বুঝতে পারি না যে রিয়েল এক্সপিরিয়েন্স হলো কি। how do we get a language in the classroom? How do we develop? যেটা আমি তো আপনারা নেক্সট টাইম বইটা দিয়ে দেবো যখন আসছি। Sharmila Rege has this book of teaching this thing, EPW তে আছে, দেখো যেখানে বলছে যে what kind of teacher you should be. আমি বইটা তোমাকে দিয়ে দেবো। That's a beautiful lesson.
রাইটিং কাজ, রাইটিং জেন্ডারটা পড়তে বলেছি,
and that essays
হ্যাঁ, কিন্তু ওর ওই যে একটু ব্রেক না, একটু আচ্ছা এই দীপ্তি
না কদম the ones who can leave, they can leave upon us.
না একটু ওদের বুঝিয়ে দাও, তুমি একটু চা খেতে খেতে আমরা চা দিচ্ছি এই